Hello folks, welcome back to The Slice. We are going to do a wrap-up of the second round of Wimbledon on this show, and we're going to talk about Nick Kyrgios and Nadal's little feud and their match today, which was super exciting. We're going to break down Federer and Djokovic's early rounds. We're going to talk about Thiem, Zverev, and Tsitsipas losing in the first round and what that means. We're going to look at Bernard Tomic getting fined and our boy Daniel Evans getting into the third round of Wimbledon. So I'm wearing the white because it's Wimbledon time, so let's get into this big episode of The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. If we haven't met, I'm Stephen Boughton, and this is The Slice Tennis News, the fastest growing, best independent tennis news source on planet Earth. And you're in the right spot. So if you're new, click the subscribe button. On this show, like I said, we're talking about Nadal, Kyrgios, Federer winning, Djokovic winning, Thiem, Zverev, and Tsitsipas losing, Bernard Tomic getting fined, Marcos Baghdatis retiring, and Daniel Evans winning. We're going to get into all those subjects, including starting with Nadal versus Kyrgios. So before this match, people saw Nadal's draw. It came out and we're like, that's a tough draw because he could play Kyrgios in the second round and then Tsonga in the third round, and he did play Kyrgios in the second round. And this match, it turned out to be great. It was a tight four-setter. Nadal they each broke each other twice, and then there was two tie breaks to finish the match. Basically, what I saw from today was obviously Nick Kyrgios' serve is massive, and it's even better on grass. And he likes to rise to the occasion and plays best tennis when he's playing somebody like Nadal, Federer, or Djokovic, especially Nadal because there's some animosity between them now after Acapulco and things that have been said before and after that. So there's a lot of eyes on this match, you could say, for sure. And I talked about in the Slice front row. If you haven't checked that out, it's the link below. It's an in-depth show we do every second week where we just go more in depth and I answer your questions on the show. I talked about how Rafael Nadal is the best returner in the world right now. Statistically, that's what it comes off as from different news from the ATPWorldTour.com and just the stats. So he's the best returner in the world right now, and I think he did very well against Nick Kyrgios' serve. Kyrgios only won 73% of his first serves when they got in, which is it still seems like a high number, but to put it in comparison, Federer won 92% of his first serves when they got in. So even when Kyrgios was getting his first serve in, which is huge, Nadal was still able to get into those and win a decent amount of those. It was just mostly a tight match, though, and it came down to the big moments, mainly the two tiebreakers at the end, where Nadal played a lot better than Kyrgios, seemed more focused, made better decisions. Obviously, he would. That's what a champion does. And when he won, he got the old finger wag out there. I remember when Roger Federer did the finger wag, the number one, after he beat Novak Djokovic in the 2011 French Open semifinal, after Djokovic was going absolutely crazy, having one of the best runs we've ever seen in tennis. The first part of that season until that match. He hadn't lost a match yet, if I'm remembering correctly. Federer went like this. And then Nadal goes like this today to his box, but we all know it was to Kyrgios and his peeps, letting him know who's number one. Also letting him know with the white. If you guys haven't checked out the Slice Style Watch, we did one for Wimbledon, and it was a joke. A lot of people didn't get the joke, but you can check that video out on the page. So yeah, you should go and watch the interviews after this match. It was really entertaining. Nick Kyrgios was just out there roasting reporters. The first question that got asked to Nick was, "Mate, do you think he would have played better if he didn't go to the bar last night?" And then Nick just goes, "No, I don't." He's like, "You looked way too excited to ask that question. You must have a boring life." That's what he said. And then this other lady asks him a question. He turns over and looks at her and he's like, "You were at the pub last night." And he recognizes her and everyone's laughing. It was pretty funny. And then on the other side of things, people were asking Nadal about Kyrgios and he was just going on and on about how he's obviously got some good ingredients, is what Nadal said in his bag. It's super good. He's a talented player, but he doesn't have the love for the game, is basically what Nadal said. And then a reporter said Nadal was really mad on court and said that he swore in Argentinian. And Nadal goes, wait, no, false. He just says, it's really good interviews. You should go watch those. Anyways, Nadal defeats Kyrgios and he plays Tsonga next, which is going to be another really tough match because Tsonga's been playing really good on grass lately and he's done some serious damage at Wimbledon before. I'm obviously still taking Nadal in that match, but it could be dangerous and it could be another classic. Next up, Federer defeats Jay Clark. Pretty solid win there. He dropped a set in the first match, but the stats tell more of the story than that drop set did. He faced one break point in that opening match in the first set, and the guy just capitalized. It's not like he was playing bad or struggling really that much in that match. He said he didn't play as aggressive as he did in the second match, and Federer said he was more happy about it. He won 92% of his first serves, and his first serve percentage was about 69%, or it was 69%. So that's very high, especially on grass, because what I've noticed is since the clay to the grass, the top players' first serve percentage has dropped, probably because they're going for more, because the serve is a lot more effective. A big serve is a lot more effective on the grass. So in the clay, they're just trying to get a high percentage in. On grass, they're trying to hit aces and start and finish points, basically, with the serve. So that makes a lot of sense. Federer will play Luca Pouille next, who made it to the semifinals, if I'm not mistaken, of the Australian Open this year. So that will be his first challenge. I'm obviously taking Federer in that as well, but Luca is a talented player, got a lot of good net skills and just defensive abilities. So he likes to, especially on the serve, he's a great returner. We saw him take out Raonic in the Australian Open, so this will be a tough match for Federer. He obviously could wipe him off the board in 3 sets, but Luca could definitely pose some problems for Federer. Now we turn to the non-Djokovic, because he ain't joking around. He won his first 2 matches easily in this tournament, took out Cole Schreiber, thought it could be a challenge for him. It really wasn't. He's playing great. He's getting about 70% of his first serves in, which is great, and he's playing aggressive. I saw a great picture of his average return position is on the baseline and slightly in front of it, which is more aggressive than it's been in the past, and he's playing in general seems more aggressive, trying to play better fast court tennis, which is probably going to work out for him pretty well. He's going to play Hubert Hurkacz next, which could pose a challenge for him. I got to watch Hubert courtside in Miami beat Dominic Thiem and then talk to him afterwards. And he's a great kid and he's got a lot of talent. He's long and he's athletic and he's got good strokes. I think he could do some damage on the grass. We'll see how Djokovic can handle it. I think he'll be able to handle it. Next up, Dominic Thiem, Alexander Zverev, and Stefanos Tsitsipas, a.k.a. the future of the men's game, all lost in the first round. They all lost to worthy, big hitting opponents, but it's a disappointing start, obviously, or Wimbledon, for the group of guys that I think are going to hold the majority of the major championships in the final, for sure. Like, those 3 guys, to me, are like the most safe bets for the future of the men's game. So weird that they all lost in the first round. But mostly not for Thiem, because he'd obviously be the worst grass court player out of that grouping, I'd think. But even if that's not your surface, I think you should be able to get farther than that. But they all ran into tough guys. Like Thiem ran into Sam Querrey, who's done damage before. I called that as an upset alert in my preview video, which you should watch if you haven't. Next up, Bernard Tomic has been fined all of his prize money for Wimbledon for apparently a lack of effort, losing 6-2, 6-1. Both those were in like 20-minute sets, and then 6-4 to Tsonga. It is a little bit weird to me that he got fined after losing the third set 6-4. If you know anything about tennis, 6-4 is a very close set. And Nick Kyrgios said it was a slippery slope, the tournament taking away his prize money for a lack of effort when it wasn't that obvious. So a little bit weird there. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of that, but in Miami, when I went down there, I actually got to watch Bernard Tomic's first match courtside. I was literally sitting right beside one of his team members, and he said to me, we were chatting a little bit, and he said to me, he's like, yeah, Tommy's got all the skill in the world, but he's not too skilled up here. He literally said that to me. So everyone in his camp knows he can't really get it together, but it would be fun if he could, because he's got an amazing game. That's like undeniable, but he's a bit nuts. Anyways, next up, Marcos Baghdatis is officially retiring, which is sad for me. The old Cypriot was an absolute firecracker. He was a personal favorite of mine. His all-time high ranking was number 8 in 2006, where he reached the Australian Open final, losing to Federer, and the semifinals of Wimbledon that year. So great player. He was like a hero. He must be a hero on the island of Cyprus. Sorry. Is anyone from Cyprus? Comment if you're from Cyprus and you're watching this. I'll try and tag it so you guys see it. But kudos to Marcos Baghdatis on an amazing career, and thanks for being one of the best racket slammers around. Next up, our boy Dan Evans, friend of the show, has made it to the 3rd round of Wimbledon, which is just awesome. When I interviewed him last year, check out our interview on the page. I'll try and link it up. In the Vancouver Open Challenger, he said his dream was just to his goal was to make the qualifying of the Australian Open this year. He made the qualifying, got to the second round, lost to Federer. Now he's in the third round of Wimbledon, which is awesome for him. We saw him having tears when he won. Just crazy comeback. I'm a big believer of second chances, and he's used his second chance to revitalize his career. I don't know where this is going to take his ranking, but it's going to be good. And he's playing Zhao Souza next, who took out Marin Cilic. So he's got a decent chance because he makes life difficult for anybody out there, especially on the grass. So that's all I got for you today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. The first 2 rounds of Wimbledon were exciting. Lots of upsets. John Isner's out, which is disappointing for him. But the top 3 guys are still in. There's still a lot of juicy matchups coming in this third round especially. So, again, check out the Slice Front Row, which is the way that you can support the Slice and just tennis, independent tennis journalism in general grow. It's $4 a month only. What do you use $4 for? It's not even, you can't even buy coffee with that anymore. But you can get a subscription to the Slice on Patreon, help us grow, and be a part of it. And for $10, you can get a free shirt. Thanks for checking that out, folks. The link below. And we will see you sometime very soon with more coverage from the Slice of Wimbledon. Thanks for tuning in, folks. This has been the Slice Tennis News. Obviously, if you haven't figured that out by now, I'm worried about you. But click down here to subscribe, down over here. Click here to watch another video. It's the Style Watch, and it is a joke. We're looking at all the bling that the players are wearing, and it's all white. Hint, hint. And up here, you can check out the Slice Front Row, which I've just talked about. So go do it.